today, as I because why not? Why the hell not? So, counting down episode 1000, ladies and gentlemen, Britton Summers is back because he seems to enjoy the abuse I give him every once in a while.
Oh,
It's like, oh,
not that bad.
No, I just keep you honest. That's all.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I just keep you honest. It's all.
That's true.
That's
basically, you basically bullied me into writing again the other day, so that was fun.
No. See, no. Okay, let's get this very clear. What I did here, because actually, a buddy of mine came to your defense. Actually, so we'll talk about that in a minute.
Oh, really? Oh, God.
Yeah. So
I will say that was probably the kick in the ass that I needed, but I know I talk. Sorry, my voice cracked. I know I talk about a lot of my angst on here, so I'm gonna try and keep it light today. Okay. Though knowing myself, I'm probably gonna bring it up anyway. So.
Oh, that's all good, dude. You gotta be you. You have to be you. So this is how the story goes. He comes to me and goes, "Hey, Josh, I'm nervous." Essentially, is what for all the other stuff he said. Hey, Josh, I'm nervous. Like, what are you nervous about? I got this story I'm writing. Okay. And I don't know what to do. Basically, I don't know what to do. So I just said, write the story, right? And then it got cute because you go can I do world building? Can I do plotting? I was like, yeah. And then I just realized he's just looking for reasons not to fucking do it. Okay, let's just kill this. Let's just kill this entirely. So I said to you, you can plot, but it doesn't count. You can world build, doesn't count, right? And you can't revise until you actually finish the story. And I know that one's the hardest one, and that one's the hardest of the 3 rules to follow, right?
Yeah, I'm midway through chapter 4 of what I'm writing right now, so I'm probably gonna finish it after we're done here. So
yeah, so I mean, and folks, I didn't set an honest word task for him. I set him at 100 words. That's it, right? Just to get him going. So
I don't know. I'm not Walter Mosley. I can't just write 1,000 words a day. I'm just doing it a chapter a day, man. Or when I find the time anyway, because I do have college. But I'm off for spring break, so I'm probably going to do more writing while I'm off.
And dude, and like I said, that's why I said 100 words a day, right? It counts for your schedule because I could shit out 100 words, right?
Well, yeah, I could easily do it. I'm not saying it's impossible.
Yeah, but I mean, again,
you kind of freed me, I guess you could say.
I just said, yeah. It's dude, this is all I care about. Just do that. Again, no deadlines. I set no deadlines. But buddy of mine came to your defense. I'll tell you what he said. And he's not entirely wrong. That's why I'm not dismissing this entirely. Right?
I was just joking when you said you were bullying me. I didn't mean it.
No. But I'm straight up. I'm straight up telling you, right?
Okay.
He came. I didn't explain. He came to the defense and said, okay, you shouldn't have done that. He wasn't ready. But so I said, He came to me and said he wanted to do it. So I just basically gave him. That was the thing. If you didn't want to do it and you were just nervous about it, I wouldn't have been anywhere near as hard on you. I would have been okay, right? Yeah. What do you want, right? I would have asked you what you wanted to do, right? But I wouldn't have been such a, how do I put this? The swift kick in the ass you needed as you right? Right.
But yeah, I'm doing all right so far. I'm on spring break right now, so
dude, that's cool. So how's college treating you?
Well, I have 3 classes, and it's not bad, but it's taking up a lot of my time, and I'm just Mondays are brutal. Just but I'm doing okay.
Yeah, I've been in deadline hell for the last month and a bit now.
Ooh.
That's all good. That's a good problem to have as a freelancer. Let me tell you, it's a good problem. Although I ended up, one of my deadlines kind of got slacked because she's not ready to go for it, and she won't be ready to go until May. So, but then I got all this other work picked up, and so I'm just tonight I'm finishing one video assignment, some audio stuff for the podcast. I'm hoping to get that approved. I'd like to get some of that approved tonight, but I might just start doing it Friday, right? And then for new ads, so you could do all that stuff, and then tomorrow I finish another client off, and then I give myself a day off Thursday. I'm actually outside of a podcast in the morning.
Oh.
I do give myself days off there, and sometimes
I know. I've talked to you before on some of your days off, and like you'll start like spitting out like weird jargon. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, hit me up another time.
Yes.
I'm on my break day. I'm like, okay.
Yes. I'm on my break. Yeah. Well, it's like I said, man. I'm just like I said. I've learned this. There's sometimes you got to take a break. Now I realize, like you're in college, so sometimes that break is a luxury for you. It's like I get a break sometimes. So does your college have exams or is it final projects?
Some have both. It depends on who's teaching. Oh, I got fuzz in my eye. But yeah, it depends on who's teaching. It's either like a final project or an exam or both.
Yeah, usually it's not both, but sometimes it is. Sometimes
I hate when they do both. I'm like, guys, can we just get along and
yeah, and they just look at you.
Like one of my assignments right now is one of my like final assignments, and it's called intercultural communication. It was about talking to someone in another culture and having an interview with them about a specific thing, and then like write a paper about it. So I'm like, oh, okay, that doesn't sound too bad. Well, I was originally going to do it on Native Americans because I'm from Oklahoma, and I've always really been interested in like Native American stuff, and couldn't find anybody for that.
Okay.
But then, by luck, I befriended one of the like Christians on campus type of people who's South African.
Oh,
and I'm
sweet.
like, oh, okay, I'm going to talk to this guy if that's all right. I emailed my teacher, and he's like, sounds good. Do that. And I'm like, all right, that's what I'm going to do.
So language, and so you can learn all the bad words in South Africa and the good food they eat there, right?
Yeah, or something like that. It's like 11 official languages over there. I'm like, dude, that's crazy.
So listen, so have him teach you 11 different ways to say the word fuck. I mean, that'd be a beautiful, beautiful friendship forever. He'll love you or she'll love you, depending on who it is.
It's a dude. Yeah.
Yeah. He'll love you. He'll be like, I'm a Christian. It's like, yeah, you know all the dirty words. Come on. You'll level me one or two of them. And it's funny too, because what'll happen is they'll look at you kind of like, it's like, so I have a friend of mine, she does sign language, right?
Uh-huh.
So I joked with her about like learning. So she gets this like impish grin on her face. She goes, come here, let me show you something. She actually showed me how to sign the word bullshit.
Of course she did.
Because that's again, human nature. If we're figuring out how to play, if you can encourage someone to play, you automatically you become friends for life. You just do. It just happens. I've been very quietly, again, as a freelancer, I feel like I've been, especially the last few days, I've been helping people with their confidence. That's kind of been my thing for the last little bit. I don't know why exactly it's kind of happened that way, but it has. And people, again, responses from all kinds of people. It's been really, really neat to see.
Yeah, I sometimes see on Facebook going, oh yeah, some guy from Tehran is watching me in Iran. That's cool.
Yeah. Today it's France.
Today it's France. Yeah.
Today it's France. On the podcast today, here, hold on. I'll look this up. It's always interesting to me because sometimes you wonder why what happens, how you get discovered. So yesterday it was Colombia.
Colombia, okay.
And today it is Limoges, France. Limoges. So it's either Limoges or Limoges.
Don't know, but
that's like wow.
Let's see. Who's like the most foreign person I've met? When I was like a big into like gaming, when I was like doing my so I had a gaming YouTube channel back in the day.
Okay.
I don't anymore, of course. I kind of grew out of that. But One of the guys I met was a dude from Russia. He was really cool. Though for some reason I can't, you sometimes doubt people on the internet. But I've talked to him, and he wore like a ski mask. And he was just drinking vodka like water. I was just like, all right, I guess this guy's Russian.
Well, it's possible. And really,
and
he goes in Australia and just drink.
And I went to church with a lady who's from Honduras.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'm pretty cool with the like British guy. Like I'm like one of my closest friends now is a British dude. So that he's from England, but but like I'm like that's British. That's not really that's not really too far across the pond.
No, as much as I'm sure my British listeners will hate to acknowledge this, they're more like the States than they want to admit. Right? So,
well, they are basically our spiritual parents. So I mean,
yes. So, I mean, it is one of those. It is one of those. They're more
I
like
remember,
and I say this with love to my British friends. It's the truth. It is the truth.
I remember my my buddy was talking to me. He's like, "Man, I wish that they just ended the monarchy after after Queen Liz died." Oh, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. And it reminded me of what you told me about like a few episodes back when we were together, and you were like, you were talking to Warren Ellis on his
Oh
thing.
yeah, I know, because it was.
And
funny.
it made me think of that. I'm like, oh God.
See, I'm right. See, I am absolutely right on that. Right, because here's the thing, right? By the way, I'm not going to say I hated Queen Elizabeth. I don't. Again, I don't hate anybody, but it's absurd to me that in the year of our Lord 2023, right, that we still have a monarchy in England that makes stupid piles of money, right, worldwide, not Canada. Okay, this is how crazy Canadians are, not realizing we still give money to those guys. Think about that for just.
Then again, we give money to our government in hopes that they do something with it, and then they.
Okay. Here's the deal, right? They are fuck ups, but they are your fuck ups, right? At least they're your fuck ups.
Yeah, no, it's yeah.
We don't have to go down the political path today.
I don't want to today. I'm trying to keep it like
no. I get
stuff
you.
We're
gonna get to fun stuff in a second. I'm just gonna walk with this point. I just want you to think how absurd this is. Okay, yes, our leaders are special. We'll just say our leaders are special. Okay,
that's a good word for it.
That's a good word for it, right? And you are looking at this and you are asking, like going on right now today, you are asking the question, why didn't we do what Iceland did and just jail these bankers eons ago and just deal with this bullshit? Because that's not what happened. And hence we've repeated ourselves. Now we went back in time. Like I swear the last 4 years have been like a time travel thing. We've gone through different points in history throughout this since the pandemic. So now we're back to 2008. We're coming back towards some kind of future. Somewhere, somehow, some way, I don't know. But here's the thing, okay? Right? Your special leaders, we'll just say it, call them special leaders, okay? They're your leaders. Now, I wouldn't wish them on anybody. I'm just, but
neither.
but at the same time, I how do I put this? But they're yours.
I thought you made these to be worse.
Well, I hope so.
The smiler, if you know what I mean.
Okay, we're not going to get into politics today.
But I was talking about a comic book anyway.
No. We're not like you have some. You have some interesting candidates coming up for presidency next year.
No. Like I said, I don't want to get into it.
No. That's what I said. So that's why I said we're gonna skip that. When you said that, it's like at least like I don't feel like busting your bubble today. I don't. This is not what this is today. But what all I'm going to say is, you're fuck. I will give this to the United States. I don't know if this is a compliment or not, but your fuck ups are entirely your own, right? I cannot say that in Canada, right? I cannot. Yeah, I don't know if that's a compliment. I'm not saying this is.
I'm not offended, so I'm like, okay.
No, it's like no. It's a fair comment, right? It's fair, right? It's not. I'm not being insulting. I'm not being demeaning. I'm just saying you have fuck ups, and they're yours, and that makes you an adult country. Now, my country, we still give money to. Technically speaking, the monarchy is still technically in charge of our country. Now, it's a ceremonial thing at this point, but if you look at the head of our government, is it still the queen or the king or the prince or whatever the fuck he's called after all these years? So Canadians are, like I said, in some ways, like you go, Canadians are so nice and kind. Yeah, I think it's the drugs. I think it's. But anyway, I digress. I see. I can make fun of myself because I'm Canadian. I can see it from many perspectives. So, but all of which to say, you got some things. Kind of, we'll just say right-ish. We'll just say ish. We are ish. And some things, ish. But anyway, I digress. Not politics. So,
yeah, a lot of stuff's been going on, man. I've been in college. I've been reading as much as I can. I just finished a book today. Started writing again. Also started my booktube channel up again because
I saw.
I have this weird thing where I'll link you to YouTube when you put this up. But
sure.
I feel like I express myself better in writing than I do when I'm on video. But
yes.
now I make like bullet points so I can like keep track of what I want to talk about because I get real tangenty. So
So what happened? So you're like Abraham Simpsons, like from The Simpsons.
Maybe a little bit. It's been. What's funny? My parents were my parents are like an odd case where they're really like strict on some things, but then they're like really lax on other things. Like for instance, I did not watch The Simpsons at all growing up. And then I watched it like not too long ago. Considering something like South Park or even Family Guy to a lesser extent, like The Simpsons ain't even that bad.
But see, I remember at the time there was a point they were.
Well, hold on. Let me finish real quick. I do understand that I did not grow up in that time, so just before you go on that,
yeah.
I'm gonna say I get that, but I'm just like it's not even that bad. Like,
so Family Guy is actually a parody of The Simpsons.
I know, yeah,
it's a parody. But at least they acknowledge it. But they acknowledge the parody of it at least.
I don't really like Family Guy.
I don't either.
Those first couple of seasons are good, and then like PTV is a classic. I love that episode. Just poking fun at CTV, but aside from that, like those first like really good couple seasons, like it's just bad.
I like when Meg got out of youth detention. She got her revenge.
It sucks too because Seth MacFarlane's actually a pretty talented guy. If you really want to think about it objectively, or maybe not objectively, but like you see it and you're like, damn, dude, you could do so much better. Like, stop.
Okay.
Sorry, was I going on?
No, I understand where you're coming from. So one of my favorite shows growing up was Married with Children.
I've heard of this.
Yes.
I've never seen it, but I've heard of it.
It lasted a long time. That show was incredibly popular all the way to its end. It was a 10-year run, right? Which for a sitcom is impressive. So they actually did a commentary on that very point you just mentioned, actually, and it was really interesting.
So much better than your.
Yeah, I know. Actually, legitimately, right? So what happened was they did an episode where Kelly talked about her family. And so they did a comedy on the inside that was a parody of the characters. It was right. It was good. It was really funny. But I think the best part was so when Al goes to confront the director for stealing his daughter's idea, right? There's actually a moment where he goes, "Okay, yeah, this isn't Shakespeare," and he's talking about, and this is just commentary on the show. This isn't Shakespeare, but a hit's a hit, no matter where it comes from. Right. And that's what happened. Like, I don't blame. Here's the thing. Right. Okay. The Simpsons, Matt Groening. The Simpsons stopped being funny when I was a teenager.
You know, there's still some good episodes that I've seen.
Dude, I'm telling you straight up. The magic line between The Simpsons was really, really good to what it is now. It's a magic line. You can go to episode 7, seasons 2 through 7 are apex excellent Simpsons. Season 8's okay. Season 8 is not bad. Season 9 and season 10 are watchable. That's it. That's your line. Okay, that's your line. All right.
No, but I've seen a lot of the good ones. My favorite Simpsons episode so far is probably Homer's Enemy.
That's a good one. Frank Grimes, yeah.
It's funny because I generally don't like just mean-spirited humor for the sake of it, but I just think it's so funny that this guy who's just been shat on his whole life, the butt monkey, if you will, if you want to quote TV tropes. I've been reading a lot of that recently. And he just meets Homer, this absolute moron who's just managed to succeed because
life.
It's sitcom logic. And he's just, and I'm like, dude, that's so relatable. I would probably be Frank Grimes in that situation. That's the sad part.
You wouldn't be Frank Grimes. See, Grimes wasn't entirely a good guy either. Like, he was judging Homer based on his merits versus what Homer did. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
That's
right. That's the thing. He became the safety inspector of the plant, and safety accidents went up. But actually, the interesting thing about it is the accidents only go up because of Homer. Homer is in all of the safety incidents. Nobody in the rest of the plant. So he's basically an anomaly unto himself in a nuclear plant. Right? But it's true. Just if you look at all the accidents that happen in the plant, it's Homer. It's all Homer on Homer. Right? But the thing is, okay, sometimes, right? The fact of the matter is, okay, no matter how you look, again, this goes back to something I just said earlier. It doesn't matter how someone gets there. They got there. That's all that really matters. Mm-hmm. Homer has a house. He's got a wife. He's got kids. He has a family. Like, at that time, not so much anymore. He was still a relatively okay dad, right? right.
No, but well, actually, Grimes is.
He's a judgmental prick.
He's relatable. I'll put it that way. Or I found myself relating to him. Not because I hate Homer or anything. I love Homer. I think he's funny when he's written well. Anyway, he's funny. But man, but when you get that outside view, it's kind of. I like that they did that perspective. Just like, oh my god. Sure. But I also like the ending. It's very uncharacteristically dark, and that's
it's very dark. Sometimes. It's very fucking dark. But it's also just it's perfect for that show, right? Because for that
kind of funny sometimes,
My favorite all time Simpsons episodes are the monorail, which is
I love that. That's a great one. Monorail.
Yeah. That one. That's again. This is apex Simpsons. Everybody that watches that's like that's genuinely funny, right? That is genuinely funny. Sideshow Bob as mayor is
my gosh,
is amazing. The Matlock Expressway still puts a smile on my face every single time. Right. But there's all kinds in that era, right? There's the baseball team. There's the Homer skipping church. Like the whole that one's fantastic.
Do
right?
It for her. I forget what that episode's called, but I love that when he has Do It for Her because Mr. Burns is the worst.
Well, it's oddly defiant and hopeful. Like I said, when The Simpsons was a genuine family, it was great. It was great. My favorite episode is the Michael Jackson episode's fun because that really is Michael Jackson voicing the character too, which is just
wow. No, I don't actually remember that one.
So it's the coolest birthday song ever. Legit.
Is that when him and Bart Bart get involved?
Yeah, it's two things. Homer gets sent into an insane asylum because he wears a pink shirt.
Oh, of course.
And in there, he meets a guy that thinks he's Michael Jackson. That right, bald head, all that stuff. Now it's actually voiced by Michael Jackson.
South Park's also really good at that. They can do that kind of mean-spirited humor, but have some heart in there.
Yeah,
but they haven't crapped
they
out
got,
like
they got there.
they haven't crapped out like the Simpsons has, at least in my opinion, anyway.
Well, there's less episodes of South Park for one thing, and they've moved away from the stuff that made them extreme at the very beginning, like early South Park and current South Park. Current South Park actually is better.
Yeah. Way better. Yeah, I agree.
Right, current South Park is actually way better. My favorite, although my favorite cartoon from that kind of style of humor is still Futurama.
Man, I enjoy Futurama. It's a fun parody of sci-fi stuff. It's a great Star Trek parody, but I also love Bender. He's just
yeah.
I like those types of characters for some reason. Just that chaotic, kind of a dick, but he kind of cares, but he's entertaining.
Well, he does have a bit of a heart. He loves Fry as a friend. I also love. Okay, see, I'm a collectible card game guy. They actually the Yu-Gi-Oh duel. There's actually go on YouTube and find a Yu-Gi-Oh duel with Fry versus Bender. Like, and Bender is, and it's funny because it just hits so true to the Yu-Gi-Oh analogy of the cartoon. It mocks it. Bender's Yugi, Fry is Kaiba. It's funny.
No, but yeah, I actually, but yeah, my favorite's probably South Park because I don't think they've lost their touch.
They're okay. So okay, Simpsons has been around for
they've just been around for an obscenely long time.
Like I was 10 years old when the Simpsons first started. Jesus Christ, I'm old.
I mean, I just turned 22 recently.
No. So the Simpsons has been around longer than you have.
Yeah.
Right? It hasn't been around as long as I have. It's like, Jesus Christ, I'm old. But anyways. Right?
No, but
and there is a legitimate, and I have to accept this as a possible reality, at least in my case. The Simpsons might outlive me. And I don't know about how I should feel about that.
That's a freaky thought,
Yeah, it is.
For me. Anyway,
no,
you're older than me, but that's freaky even for me. I'm just like, are they going to end it? Like, because there's so many shows that don't know when knows when to fold them. To quote that song.
Again, okay, so I stumbled onto, because my theme music this year is "Carry On Wayward Son," so I stumbled on the Supernatural this year. That show went 15 fucking seasons. I couldn't believe it.
I know. I've seen a couple of the episodes. Like, I watched the Scooby Doo one because I'm just a diehard Scooby Doo fan. Which, by the way, I did watch Velma as well, and I don't hate it as vehemently as some people do.
I'm of no mind whatsoever, because I like Britton. I'm not cool. I barely watch television.
I know you don't watch I was like, I don't even watch that much either, and I watch way more than you. Like, that's that's just sad. But hey, whatever makes you happy, man. That's all I'll say.
Don't knock my uncoolness. I do that on purpose.
Hey, I'm not knocking your uncoolness. I'm just
you jealous?
You're more uncool than me. I'll put it that way.
Okay, that's fine. I am good with that. I am very, very good with that. You'll talk about these, and everybody's going to talk about these hip TV shows and movies, and I'm like, I truly don't give a damn. And it's a wonderful feeling, actually, that I don't give a damn.
I mean, there's good stuff out there. It's just
no, there absolutely is. I'm not. By the way, when I say it like this, I don't knock anyone that works in television. I mean it because I have friends that work in television, so I have a slightly different perspective. I've seen it up close and personal. It's a lot of work. It's a truly creatively rewarding experience for everybody involved. It truly is. But I have to make a choice. Do I play my video games or do I watch television? And I decided that video games, by and large, are more stimulating. Now that all said, if my friends are doing it, I will watch it because my friends are doing it. But that may mean I'm doing some uncool. I'm watching really uncool shit, or I'm watching the best shit because my friends are doing it. You guys can decide that.
I mean, I probably pay more attention to trends than I should. I try to stay away from it, but yeah.
Okay, So here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? We all gotta make decisions about like what's important to us, and really, if you love certain shows, there's no crime in that. I don't like. Look, man, we're all obsessed over stuff. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I just think, for me, I only have so much time in the day.
Yeah,
So
I get that.
yeah, and so I have to make my choices very, very sparingly. Like I might take my day off. I actually might watch the rest of the fairy tale I haven't seen yet. That like so I can say I've caught up, right? Just because then I can actually move on to Fringe properly because I'm still on season 1 of Fringe and I got a lot of catching up to.
Dude, wait till you get to damn it, White Tulip. That is the best episode of that show. It is just Peter Weller is in it, and that's all I'll say. It's just probably one of the most beautiful episodes of television I've ever seen.
So and like I said, I'm outdated, and I mean I'm watching I still watch The Boys. I still watch Harley Quinn.
I still need to see that. I haven't seen it because I really don't love meta humor. It gets really annoying after a while.
I know it
gets annoying really quickly. Is all I'll say. That's why.
So it's not necessarily meta humor. It's sometimes it's just they are the people. They are the things you didn't know you needed in your life. For example, Bane. Bane is amazing. Bane is awesome.
I have heard he's amazing. I've like my friends are like, yo, it's actually pretty good. But I'm like, like.
And my favorite evolution of all the characters in there is the Joker. I am blown away. I am completely blown away what they did with him. And it's like, I'm not against this at all. This is actually better than what's in the comics right now. What the fuck?
Yeah, I haven't actually been reading like a lot of comics recently. I started a manga, Pluto from Naoki Urasawa.
That's what I'm reading.
I know. I love Jason Aaron, man. You don't need to tell me that. I'm waiting for the trade, my friend.
And that's fine. I will hold it against. I will hold it against you until you do. That's okay.
I am an unapologetic trade waiter.
There's nothing.
It annoys all my friends, but that's just how I do it.
I do a bit of both, right? So, but mostly. So actually, I'll show you. So here's my manga read right now. Hold on a second here. I'll be right back for it.
But yes, if anyone has not read Pluto, it is a fantastic manga.
Hold on a sec here. Hold on a sec. Put my earphones on so I can hear you properly. Show bit.
What's that looks like anime girl stuff.
Yes, it almost does. It's one of the original. I do a column for a publisher right now, so it's about again robot human relations. It's going to be something I'm going to be pitching probably for the next month. So I'm looking at some of the really good. So in comics, there's Adam and Ada. There's Chobits, which I'm reading right now.
I need to read Adam and Ada because I'm a big Image fan. Someday. I mean, as much as I love superheroes, I like that American comics is kind of finally, we could tell any story we want,
Unless you're DC and Marvel, in case you're still doing Batman and X-Men until the day you die.
Hey, I don't want to bring up Batman too much. We talk about him too much as it is.
No, I'm not talking about the stories. Just like, No, I mean, right now, there's some good books. Like Once Upon a Time at the End of the World's really good. Starhenge by Liam Sharp was really good last year. I really enjoyed that.
I know you really liked that one. I remember seeing something about it.
Yeah, I did a review column about it last year.
Oh, yes, that's probably where I saw it. You talking about it anyway.
Yeah.
What's the last comic I read?
I'm reviewing this tomorrow.
Oh, that's interesting. I will say one of the best comics I read like recently is probably Sync. This is, and you might think, it's a guy by the name of John Lees. He's a Scottish writer. All I'll say is this is probably the nastiest, depraved thing you'll ever read, but you'll love it. And
okay.
Well,
I've read Warren Ellis's Avatar stuff. I mean, some of that's really depraved.
Hey, I haven't read any of his Avatar stuff, but Avatar is pretty depraved in general. So I mean, if you read
I know.
God,
So the worst thing, the
Super
worst
God.
probably has like the most vile thing Warren Ellis has ever written is in Avatar. It's I can't remember what it's called. It's about like a parent looking for his child's killer.
Oh, I've heard of this. Oh God.
It is one of the nastiest things it is bar and away one of the most nastiest things that Bourne I've ever read. It's not for the faint of heart. I like the strange kiss stuff, the stranger kiss stuff, and that stuff. I mean, it's kind of it's weird, but it's not really that dark.
Have you read Super God? Because that was the first book that introduced me to Ellis, and that's from Avatar.
What? Avatar?
Super God from Warren Ellis.
Yeah.
What, am I cutting out?
No, Super God. I've heard it. I've read it. I've heard of it.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
I just didn't. For whatever reason, I couldn't hear it. I didn't hear it. Super God. It just didn't click in my brain for some reason.
Oh, I was about to say. If you think Watchmen is dour, Super God is dour-er.
Yes, it is.
No. Yeah. I was thinking about the comic of The Boys the other day because I was talking about it with a friend of mine, and there's a lot of people who really don't like it. And the thing is, I don't blame them for not liking it because because if Watchmen is like a great Shakespearean tragedy, then The Boys is kind of like a farce, and it's really mean.
So, do you know a gentleman by the name of Hannibal Taboo?
Isn't he the guy who's with Eric Andre? Or is that another?
I don't know if he's with Eric Andre, but once upon a time he used to do a comic book column called The Bi Pile. Right? Mm-hmm. And he hated The Boys. me and him got into a really good discussion about it though. Right? We actually because again, you can disagree with somebody, right? But your discourse has to be at the very least reasonable. Me and him had a really good discourse about The Boys, the comic, specifically, right? The argument I would argue with The Boys is here's the thing about it. It's gratuitous.
Oh yes.
On purpose.
Absolutely.
Right? It's gratuitous on purpose. It's part of now it's a bit dated. Like if you look at it compared to today, it is a bit dated as a concept.
I've heard it's inspired a lot by martial law, which I haven't read.
I don't no, what I mean by dated is a lot of the comic book pop culture references were for its time. The overall overarching story arc.
Oh yeah, it's very Bush inspired.
Or not just Bush inspired, but just also where comic books were in fandom at that point in time is a big part of the. Like in the television show, comic book shops aren't mentioned at all. Like they're just not.
Well, yeah, I'm guessing they took like a Watchmen sort of route where it's like, well, they'd be kind of shoved out of print once the real thing shows up.
Well, no, it's just the reality of the situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's just the reality of the situation. Like comic books were a bigger part of pop culture in the early 2000s than they are now. Comic book shops, your local comic book store, so some of what was The Boys there was there, but it was also just a gratuitous book and very dark, especially as you keep going into the series. And the thing about it is, so it's not for everybody. It was never designed to be for everybody.
Oh no.
But the gratuitous
Innes doesn't even like superheroes, so I mean there's something that'll turn probably a lot of people off instantly.
He likes Superman.
I know he likes Superman.
I like Superman. But that's it. But that's the whole of it, right? With Ennis is he wanted to show that hero worship thing to the nth degree. That's what he wanted.
Yeah, it's definitely more of like a demented comedy more than something like Watchmen or Super God, which is like, oh wow, superheroes be kind of scary in the real world.
Well, I don't know. About that.
Would be kind of sad and pathetic in the real world, or scary.
Well, I don't know about that, man. I mean,
I don't know either. But
did you read the whole run of the boys?
yeah, long time ago. But yes, I have. It gets really fucked up.
Yeah, but it's also it deals with the concept of a superhuman arms race, which Uber takes to the nth degree by Kieran
Also,
Gillen.
Super God did it too.
Yeah, that whole idea, but that was the boys did it first. So, but again, he wanted to show the gratuitousness, the celebrity, the consequence of where seeing some of
Oh
these.
yeah, the celebrity satire is really good in the book.
Yeah,
In the comic anyway. I like it.
Yeah, but that's why it's so gratuitous. And then when you get to the darker parts. So when you look at the television show, they really play with the idea of the superhuman arms race, the pharmaceutical industry and its impact on creating these people that do these amazing things. And and the pop culture is still very much there, but it's no longer comic book related. It is celebrity, period.
Yeah, no. I will admit I do think the show is better. They have the tone is a lot more consistent.
Yes, no, absolutely.
And I do love Ennis. I do think he is a great writer when he puts his mind to it. But the thing about him is that he often likes to be edgy for the sake of it, and that kind of bothers me.
I don't. He's a romantic.
I know you've said that. I know. Like Preacher, that like if you read Preacher, like that's apparent. I love Preacher. It is vile and depraved, but it has a happy ending. Yeah. I love the ending of Preacher.
So does the boys.
And the boys too, yeah. Like relatively, yeah.
Yeah, so does the boys actually have a happy ending, right? But look at his war stories, like a lot of his war stories. He talks like about soldiers, the people doing the wars, in very, very good light, usually.
Oh yeah, right. Sarah is really good. I read that. I love his Punisher stuff.
Everybody likes his Punisher stuff.
He was made to write that character, man. I don't know what to tell you. Punisher Born might be one of his best endings. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna. It's my favorite anyway of his endings. But as for the boys, I thought you froze there for a second.
No, I'm listening to you.
I would say that one of his best characters came out of that, and that was Billy Butcher.
Yes.
It's like, what if the Punisher existed, and what if he didn't just take his war on crime? What if he decided to no scruples? What about a Punisher with no scruples? A Punisher that doesn't have what little restraint Frank Castle has left, and that would be Billy Butcher, I think. And also, he's just fun he's fun and terrifying.
Well, here's the thing: Billy Butcher does have scruples. If he didn't, he'd kill everybody. He's not into that.
He was about to kill everybody, though.
No, he doesn't. He hates soups. He hates soups. The whole idea of superheroes, hates them. Normal people. Look, I think the most telling thing. I'm going to spoil the comic for everybody that's about to listen to this.
Just like put a giant spoiler tag.
Well, I just said it. If you listen, good guy. So, the final bad guy in the boys comic is Butcher himself.
Yes.
So Butcher
and
himself,
it makes sense too.
Oh no, totally does. But
like everyone's like, oh, they kill the super people and then he just becomes evil. I'm like, my friend, did you read the comic? He is sus from the very beginning.
No. But okay, so now let me tell the story. Okay. Let me tell the story. So it comes down to Huey versus Butcher. Right at the very end, it comes down to Huey versus Butcher. The rest of the team's dead in various ways. So the thing about it is, hinted that this would happen too, because the Frenchman actually goes. The Frenchman, when after Mother Smoke's died, goes, "Who can stop the Butcher between us?" He goes, "The female, definitely. If she saw him coming, absolutely has a chance. Me, if the stars aligned correctly, I could do it. You have no chance at all. He will kill you." Right?
Mm-hmm.
This is just that is Frenchie's assessment of Butcher against the rest of the remaining survivors of the team. Right? Mm-hmm. So everybody else is dead but Huey. And Butcher has this super villain plan to blow up every super on the planet. He came up with a way to do it, kill everyone at once. Just the soups. Huey stops him. Butcher goads him kill him.
I think a lot of people also mention that, oh, why did he spare Huey? I don't think he could have brought himself to kill him.
You're jumping. Let me finish.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're jumping. Let me finish.
Sorry.
So after Butcher is dead, after Huey kills Butcher, you get the last message because he threatens. The way he gets Huey to do is he threatens he's kill his dad. Remember that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? So here's the thing. Right after he kills Butcher, he gets a phone call from his dad. And it's about the conversation between Butcher and his dad and Huey's dad. Butcher was incredibly kind to him. He was never going to go anywhere near Huey's dad. The thing is, Butcher himself knew what kind of monster he was, and he needed someone to stop him, and he wanted someone good to stop him. Because he knew that if it was the Frenchman, if it was Mother's Milk, if it was any of the rest of the team, they still would go down whatever path they were going to go down. Huey could change things. And deep down, Butcher knew it. That's why Butcher didn't want to kill Huey. He didn't really want to.
Yeah, because
he could have. He cared about it. He genuinely cared. So going back to you now. It's not that Butcher didn't have scruples. He did. But he was a monster, and he knew it. Right? And he made no scruples about what kind of monster he was. He's the kind of guy, and he said it even in that comic, you need guys like me in this world. But the thing about guys like me is you got to keep an eye on us when we're not on duty. Because that's when we're, right? You got to keep an eye on us because we don't see the world the same way you do. You need us to do the dirty work.
Yeah, he's mission oriented.
Yeah, he's very mission oriented. But
it would be something else.
But it was mission oriented, number one. But also, he has this has been hinted at throughout the entire series. It was hinted at he had no problem with anybody really. He didn't care, right? Mm-hmm. If you were useful to him, he would go out of his way to manipulate you and to do some shit sometimes, right? But he wouldn't. But if you weren't, he didn't care. He wasn't going to hurt you. He wasn't going to kill you. He wasn't going to. Right? He actually, in one very odd way, had more scruples than the Punisher did. He had in one odd way.
Interesting view. I kind of think of him as, well, I guess Ennis's Punisher is Punisher off the leash, but Butcher is kind of a Punisher of superhumans.
No. Again, he has hatred of superhumans. Absolutely. He doesn't have the ability to differentiate and there. He just doesn't. But, by the way, folks, this is the comic. The show is a little different.
I was about to say, yeah, the show is like Butcher's more human in the show, I think.
But he's a bit more human. He has some huge flaws, though. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. I keep telling my friends, I'm like, dude, he's the final villain. It just makes sense.
I don't know if he's going to be the final villain on a television show or not. I'm not entirely sure on that one because they've already gone down some very different roads.
He's gone down the path, dude. He's flirting with it.
Oh, sure. No. But that was always. But again, in the comic, he had already done it before even the series even started. He had already gone down that path. That's what the whole Butcher Baker Candlestick Maker story was really about. Was that?
It's actually my favorite arc it's actually my favorite arc of the comics.
Yeah,
Butcher Candlestick Maker.
Yeah, it's one of them, right? So that's what that is all about.
Because it shows he was not well. He was going to snap even before what happened to his wife happened.
Oh yeah, well that just was the cake that put things over the top, and he was.
But I didn't think of it that way. I kind of thought of him as like less scrupulous than the Punisher because he has. That's the thing. If you look at the Butcher in the comic, he does have scruples. It's just. They're different. He's not above manipulation. He's not above using people, which is very true to the television show. But if you're not useful to him, he's never going to go through the trouble of doing anything to you. Right? He's never going to go through he doesn't care. And it's not I'm not going to say it's out of some moral duty, but he's also not wasteful for the sake of being wasteful either.
right? So he's
he
like
has rules.
Yes, he does. He does.
But no, a lot of people are like, why doesn't he just kill Huey as well? He's like, I think he cared too much about Huey to do so, and I think like deep down he wanted Huey to stop him.
Absolutely, no, of course he did.
Like, because a lot of people were kind of like complaining, and I'm like, that's not freaking Grayson, and, you know.
No, but again, he knew he needed to be stopped. Deep down, he knew it. But if somebody else had stopped him, what would have changed? He wanted a good person he cared about and to stop him.
Even if he wasn't above mistreating.
Well, but that's again, Huey. Okay, Huey in the comics sometimes was a fucking candy ass. Sometimes
he was. He's a huge wiener in the comics.
Yeah, so I like some of what he did. It was like, dude, you just need to be fucking toughened up at least a little bit. Fuck. Some of that's what some of that was, right? That's what some of that was. Now I'm not saying all of it was. He tried to turn. I think he did at one point. He did try to turn Huey into him, more like him, but he couldn't do it. And I think in an odd way he earned some of Butcher's respect for that. But couldn't change him, right? So
it's like he's probably the most decent person in the comics.
No, that would be Annie. Annie's the most.
I was about to say him and Annie are probably like the most decent people in the
they still are in the show. By the way, have you noticed that?
Oh yeah.
Right? Have you noticed that? And I'm not right. It's a little bit more realistic. Their past and how they're going and where they're going, but yeah, no, like the fact that I know Starlight is going to be working with the boys pretty much regularly from here on, and not with Vought anymore, right? Is a natural evolution of her character in the show, something that was never done in the comic, and it's a good thing, right? It's actually
I like me. I love character drama, so that's bread and butter. So I'm lapping all that up.
But like I said, and the show is really smartly done, like just really smartly done.
Yes, I might even dare say it might be better than the comic, but
it is.
I don't know if I want to go there yet.
I have it. It is better than the comic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just like I don't. My friends are like, oh no, I don't think Butcher. Or well, I've told some friends of mine, I'm like, dude, I just don't. I don't see how it doesn't end with Butcher not being the final villain.
He doesn't. It doesn't. I don't know if he. I could see a world where it doesn't go that way. It could like. I could see a world where it doesn't go that way. The final villain, I mean, they've set up Homelander to be the uber boss of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Right? He's the uber boss. So,
but, like, they play with the show, like, I don't think Butcher's going to stop after Homelander. I think he might go off.
It depends. So, so the biggest change, folks, between the comic and the show as far as Homelander and Butcher's relationship goes is Homelander's son.
Yeah. He doesn't have a son in the comics.
No. So there are some very because of the son. There's some really interesting ways they could go with the show, right? And there's some really interesting ways they could go with the show. So I say it like this because that opens some interesting doors. Because the thing about this is the son represents Butcher's real battle, because the person he loves helped make that person too. Whether he wants to acknowledge it or not. And that's right.
It's funny because that reminds me of another character who we've talked about before. Except Butcher is more sympathetic than that other person is, in my view anyway.
Oh, who?
I was talking about Snape. But he has a similar conundrum. Here's the son of the woman I love, but also this man who I just fucking hate.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it. It's the same battle, right? And sometimes Butcher loses that battle, and sometimes Butcher wins that battle, and that's where Butcher's real arc. It's very possible that the son is the last boss of the show. It's possible, right?
I don't know.
There's a path. There's a path to that. There is a path to that.
I'm not saying it's impossible, but I don't know.
It's not the way you'd want it to go, right? So, But that's where again, that's the big difference between the two is Homelander has a son, and the son can go a whole bunch of different ways.
I also like. Oh, I don't mean to interrupt you, but just I also like in the show they made Homelander more human.
Mhm.
Still a fucking asshole monster, just piece of shit, but he is much more interesting than the comic book version.
My favorite is the Deep.
Oh my god. God, it's so weird with the Deep. It's kind of like It's Always Sunny. Have you ever seen that show? It's
I
Always
haven't
Sunny in
seen it.
Philadelphia. No. It's about these just 5 really horrible people, and they fuck up, and they're awful.
Yes.
Awful. Nasty. But you still feel sorry for them.
Yeah, because
And
they don't know any better, probably.
It's the same thing with the Deep. Terrible guy, but I still like pity him. Like I still
Yeah,
feel
you do, because you know he's never going to change, and you feel sorry for him because he's never going to change.
I don't know if it's just I'm like too much of like a sap, or
No, he is kind of.
are,
But okay. He ended up joining the cult. I love that in season 2. He ended up joining that cult.
yeah.
And I think the Fresca product placement is fucking brilliant. I love it. It is one of the most brilliant things I've ever seen. Right, and that went down the wrong way. Okay, but no, it was one of those. I laughed so hard. It's like, yes, of all the characters in the show, it made the most sense that he would be the one. He would literally be
suckered into a cult.
Yes. Oh my god, I laughed so hard when
I feel so. I guess it's because I feel sorry when he actually like tries to do the right thing. And
does he though?
Well, kind of like when he genuinely is like trying to. How
I'm far more sympathetic to A-Train that way than I am to him.
well,
I'm more. I'm not. I'm not saying A-Train's not a monster.
I do sympathize a little bit with A-Train, but I'm more like he made his bed. He should lie in.
I feel that way with the Deep.
That's fair. I can see why you feel that way because he is a dick.
Well, the thing is, okay, if you talk about the two of them, the difference between the A-Train and the Deep. A-Train acknowledges he's a monster. He does.
Okay, yeah, fine.
Yeah, the Deep is just a prick and doesn't take any responsibility for anything he does.
That's fair. Yeah.
Right? He doesn't take
I don't know why I still feel sorry for him though, even though he is.
No, because you know, I'm telling you, deep down, you know, this motherfucker is never gonna change. He is the one character. He's the one character that's gonna end up when this show is over. I promise you, he is the one character that will stay in the exact same place. Right? Right? That's
I am not disagreeing with you. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. A-Train, there's growth. Like you see growth with A-Train, you can see growth with Danny, you can see growth with Homelander, you can see changes with Maeve, right? But the Deep, he is the same sorry motherfucker he was in season 1.
He's so sad. It's just it's like Jerry from Rick and Morty, but he's so sad, and you're just like, God, you're a dick. But I feel sorry for you. I shouldn't.
No, you should. You should feel a little sorry for him. Because here's the thing. Not because he's a dick. He's never going to learn. No matter what you throw in front of him, he will never learn a goddamn thing.
Like, I think when he tried to save that dolphin, I think that was like a genuine, like, he wanted to try and do the right thing. And it just failed.
No, because he's trying to get back on the good graces of his team.
That's true. I'm not.
See, here's the thing. If you could, this is my challenge to you because I could. Okay, this is my challenge. Name me one thing the Deep has done in the entire series that was truly altruistic. There was nothing he gained out of it.
Maybe when he tried to help that lobster.
Maybe.
He was trying to get food, or. He did. It was like, oh, okay, buddy, and then he just stabbed it. He was like, oh wait, no, you know. But yeah, it's like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I know that the Deep is a fuck up who won't change, but I feel bad for him, even though I shouldn't feel bad for him.
That's why you feel bad. I'm telling you, that's why you feel bad for him. That's why you feel bad.
But A-Train, like my thing with him is, look, he killed his ex-girlfriend because of his own selfishness. He oh, what else did he do? Can't even think of it now.
He killed. Okay, so here's
he killed Huey's girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
He killed his girlfriend.
Yep.
He ratted out that one guy who Annie's ex-boyfriend to the Homelander, which that was when I was like, I'm done.
Well, no, okay, but here's
every bad thing that happens to him, he deserves it.
Okay, but here's the thing. There's a difference.
Like when his brother cuts him off, I'm like, yep, he deserves that. I don't feel bad.
No, absolutely. Not arguing with you. Here's the difference. Okay?
It makes it kind of sound like I'm kind of. I don't want to sound like I'm being like racial or anything. But
no. It's the difference is here's again. It's their approach. A-Train knows what he's doing. That's the one. Like that's the one big. You could make an argument that the Deep really is this stupid. Like there's an argument for stupidity.
Oh, like come on.
No, right. Like again, you can make that argument, right? But that's A-Train doesn't have that. A-Train knows what he's doing.
That might make him worse, though.
No. Okay, but here's the thing. He was the one that ratted out what's her face, Stormfront. He was the one that did it. Right?
Oh, yeah, she was racist towards him.
Well, no, okay, that was part of why he did it, but he also did it because Annie saved his life, and he was returning the favor.
That
right,
you know right? What? Fine. He is. I won't pretend that he isn't capable of genuine selflessness.
Yeah.
It's just after what happened with like.
So all I'm saying to you, right? This is all I'm saying. Again, I'm not saying he's a good person. He's not.
No. I know you're not saying that.
That right. What I'm saying to you is he actually is capable of changing.
But
he's probably going to head to a very bad end. I could definitely see that. I can see that coming. But
he deserves it.
Yeah, sure. And again, it's pretty hard to argue with everything he's done. He doesn't deserve some kind of comeuppance for it. But he will be in a very different place than when he started the show.
Yeah,
right.
You're probably right, because he was a lot different than he was in season 1.
Well, yeah, exactly. So he's in a different place. The Deep is still the same sorry motherfucker from season 1.
Yeah,
same guy.
I don't know if he's gotten that far, but when he gets back into the 7 and Annie's reaction is so fucking hilarious. It's just, oh my god. She's just like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
I just finished episode 1 of season 3 a while ago. I'm going to watch the rest of the series.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. No, dude, I know some of the things that are coming up. Like, for example, they do hero-gasm in this season, so I'm very curious how they do that.
Yeah, they do it. Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, I'm telling you all, like straight up, knowing what I know, knowing what I've seen, right? Even like A-Train has some redeeming qualities. This doesn't mean he's going to redeem himself. I'm not expecting that.
True. I do think he genuinely loves his brother. On the one hand, it's just he's selfish. He's just
sure, and you know, and he doesn't want to lose what he's got, and that's his big motivation. I think
that's what makes him despicable, though.
What?
I think that's what makes him despicable.
Absolutely, no, absolutely, and that's
the right thing. He just doesn't because
But the Deep is a dumb motherfucker that will never change.
I know that, and I can't help but feel bad.
But that's the thing is, you're supposed to, because he is a dumb motherfucker that will never change.
But my point about A-Train is when he, like, Annie's ex was giving him an out. She's like, hey, you could actually help do the right thing and show Homelander for the monster he truly is. And he just fucking rats her out anyway. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's it. He deserves every bad thing he gets coming.
Yeah, but that's the idea.
I don't feel sorry for him at all.
Well, and you're not supposed to. There's a difference in the two characters that way. You're not supposed to feel sorry for A-Train. because he
The only time I felt sorry for him was his brother.
Yeah, but again, you're not supposed to feel sorry for him. It's okay. It's done by design.
I get it. But it's just that one of my friends mentioned to me the other day. I was in my work, and I have a friend named Tilly. She's very opinionated. I think you would like her. Anyway, she's like, I was talking about Silence of the Lambs, and I'm like, you're always bitching about how people make stuff about Dahmer. You like Silence of the Lambs, like
sure.
And she's all like, it's fake. And I just kind of, it's like when we had that conversation about writing. It was just that simple, just what she said. And I was like, huh.
Yeah. It just hits, right?
It's that moment where you're like, yeah, it is. I didn't think of it like that.
Dahmer's a legitimate psychopath, right?
That's another case where I can't help but feel bad, even though I know he's not a good person. Like, but then again, that's just I'm probably just a sap.
Just be honest with yourself. Just be honest with yourself. Like, here's the thing: I've never watched Dahmer. I never will watch Dahmer.
I don't plan to. No, I don't plan to either.
Right? Because again, I'm really not really for the idea of giving a guy money because he sold himself onto television. That's done what he's done. Now, there are people who are fascinated with serial killers. They are legitimately fascinated by them. They're interesting people. They're different kinds of people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So there is something about that really, really hits people the right way. I've interviewed authors that write about that stuff, and
I'm sort of the way, the old Nietzsche quote, you gaze into the abyss and the abyss gazes unto you.
Yes, it does.
I am intrigued in the way, like, this guy fucked up. Why would he do that? Because it's incomprehensible. Somebody like me, right?
Sure.
But when you start like watching stuff about it, it kind of fucks with your mind, and I'm just so I have to step away from it. So,
for me, school shootings are a similar beast. I don't understand how any of that could happen, but
I don't either.
Right? But again, it's the right person at the right time with the right access, with the right everything, and just it happens. And we don't really fully understand it because if we did, we could stop it.
When you say right person at the right time, it sounds bad. I'm just like, oh god.
Well, no, it's good, but that's because what I have read about it. I mean, there's things like, what pharmaceutical drugs were they on? What are they going through in their lives right now? Like, there's a lot of factors that I look at when I look at some of those shooters, and it's because some of them have done nothing else in their lives, right? They hit this point, and then I mean, you go to Israel. There's suicide bombers there. There's the suicide bombers that go off, and it's a similar concept. So I mean, there is that part of human nature that's there. I don't get it, and it's not that I'm afraid to understand it. It's just also I don't want it glorified exactly.
I get that. I'm the kind of that same way.
You're a little bit more fascinated about the abyss than I am, though.
I'll put it that. We'll keep it at that. But at least I know where to stop, or at least I try to put boundaries for myself so I don't get warped or something crazy.
And by the way, folks, if you're listening to this, if you're into this stuff, that's cool.
Out of context.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I'm throwing it out there for everybody. Like,
no, I'm not judging anybody who's into that. I've met people who are into that stuff, and that's fine. Like, they're not nice people,
Yeah, again, there is something about, there are things we all obsess over stuff, and there are things we're genuinely curious about. I can't fault somebody for being curious. Right? So, I don't.
But no, it's the only thing I've encountered from Dahmer about Dahmer is the excellent comic My Friend Dahmer from Durf. Now, if you haven't read that, it's a fantastic read, though, one could be like, you didn't know Dahmer. It's written by a guy. It was written and drawn by a guy who knew Dahmer in high school. And it's really interesting, I thought.
Yeah, I probably won't touch it. Yeah. No, because it
doesn't interest you?
It's not even that. Okay, so I think, okay, I have met thousands of people, and they all do, and everybody does interesting things.
Okay.
And some of them are more nefarious than others. I'm not, again, I know people from well, I know people who have done some very interesting things with their lives. Now we'll leave it there because I again, just on this journey, you just see things and you just know some of it's not worth talking about.
No, I remember. I don't mean to interrupt, but I remember telling you about this guy I knew in school, who's a drug dealer, and I was like, he was a buddy of mine. I didn't even fucking like the guy.
I had a buddy of mine who was a drug dealer. He ended up dating one of my ex-girlfriends. They're together even to this day. So I mean, it's just like I don't.
No, it's just the thing is, like, I didn't even like the guy. I don't know why I called him my buddy, but you know,
I didn't hate the guy. I didn't hate the guy I knew. Like it's.
I don't hate him. I just don't like him.
No, that's fine. I didn't hate him. I didn't dislike him. He was a charming guy, very charming guy. That's the right. Like I'm just being very honest about that. A gal I fooled around with. I ended up seeing her a few years later with him. Just right. So it's a small world sometimes. It's also one of the reasons why I don't talk about certain things certain ways, because you never know where things go.
Yeah, no, it's
right. So I don't judge it. Again, I don't judge anybody. But what I will say is going to the Dahmer thing. What I've learned in this life is that, okay, so there are quote unquote things that are hot in the moment, right? So Dahmer's hot, like it was hotter a few months back.
I don't plan on seeing this, by the way.
No, I get you, but this goes back to the comic you've read. I'm tying this in.
Oh, okay.
I'm tying this in. Dahmer's hot, and there's a lot of byproducts of that being made, including my friend Dahmer. Right place, right time, right circumstance, whatever the case. Like again, the universe just has cosmically aligned that right now, like Dahmer and things like Dahmer are a thing. Now it's faded a little bit. Now we're doing everything everywhere all at once.
Hey, that was a great movie. Hey.
I'm shrugging because I have not seen it and I have no interest in seeing it.
I think you would like it. You say you like silly shit. That movie is the silliest freaking movie.
No, I do like silly shit, but again, like Britton. Silly shit. Silly.
Bro.
What?
Okay. All right.
What? See, again, I have to pick my spots. And so here's actually, I'll tell you the other reason why I don't watch television very much. Because what I've noticed is the farther away I get from television, the more different I think about things. So when everybody jumps a certain way now, there's a little part of me that goes, no, I'm going to go my way. Now I might see everything everywhere all at once 5 years down the road where no one gives a shit anymore, right? And I'm good with that, right?
All I'm gonna say is I think you would like that movie.
Oh, sure, and I might, but I'm not going to do it right now when everybody else is. There's
you're one of those guys. I get it. It's okay.
Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah, it's like there's a little part of me right now. It's like, everybody's watching it right now. I don't really want to. Right, I just like because everybody else is doing it, right? So, but I'm a contrary dick that way sometimes. So.
No, oh Jesus, no, but oh God, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, I was talking about Dahmer. I was just like, I'm not gonna see it because I'm like,
yeah,
I don't like the people who make it. They make those really sappy like American Horror Story, which I don't watch. I don't want to watch it. But that's basically my view on it.
No, it's okay. Like I said, I don't knock anybody for doing what they want to do. Hey,
no,
you want to watch
like that? I'm not watching it. Is all I'm saying.
Exactly. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I am reading a book called The Vor right now, which is recommended by my best buddy pal, Alan Moore. You can see his little blurb right there. So yeah, I like some really obscure, weird shit sometimes. Okay, but at the same time, I am susceptible. I'm still in that phase of my life where I'm susceptible to popular things too.
Hey,
So.
hey, listen. Okay. Speaking of popular things, look, I openly confess, I've become a Taylor Swift fan.
Yeah, and I saw your post about that. I'm like, I texted you. I'm like, seriously?
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah. I'm like, for real?
Yeah.
Like,
hey, John.
Like, dude, Taylor
Like,
Swift.
hey,
Like,
listen,
yeah, dude.
listen. Like again.
Like, she's made some good songs, but I'm more like just like oh yeah, she's fine. She makes some good earworms though. Oh my god.
No, she's great at that shit, and she's good, right? She's great at that shit. But her lyrics are genuine. I can see why she is as big as she is.
Like, Shake It Off. Like, oh my god.
Okay, I don't know if I've listened to that one yet. Maybe I have. Hold on, let's see. Nope, maybe not. But whatever. But here's the thing. Popular stuff can be great. Like I'm not again. Popular stuff can be great. What I have tended to this is just me, and maybe this is just me being a complete dick. If certain people recommend certain things, I just don't touch them. I just don't.
You're the least dickish man that I know, or at least when you are a dick, you do it in a charming way.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm enough of a person to go, oh, you like it. I'm probably not going to like it then. All right. So, and there are certain people on my Facebook list that when I see them really like something, I just don't like how they think. So I just all right.
I'm the same way too from time to time.
Yeah,
I have moments.
Yeah. Now, that all said, if I stumble onto it on my own, like, okay, same, like if I stumble on Taylor Swift on my own during the pandemic, right? I stumbled onto it and it was just like, wow, you're really good.
I mean, I started listening to Radiohead a lot when I started college. So,
Yeah. So now you're getting, so like I said, there are just certain things that they hit you at the right place at the right time. I'm like, yeah, I'm a Swiftie. I have accepted my lot in life.
like I listen to OK Computer now. I can't think of when I just started going to college driving there because I would listen to OK Computer a lot. I don't know if you listen to much Radiohead, but
some Radiohead, sure.
Though I do think OK Computer is an amazing album, though.
Yeah, well,
it is interesting too. It's really weird. I want to listen to more of their stuff.
No, they have some good stuff. They really do.
Yeah, I know you like music too. I don't know how our music taste would align. I mean, I like, prog rock and hip hop and jazz.
So let's see.
I don't know what you like. I know you like.
Okay, the Swiftie stuff. Okay, cool.
Okay.
There you go. Hailstorm.
Hailstorm. Okay, I've never heard of that in my life.
Oh wow. Amon Amarth. If you haven't heard of them, I'm going to hurt you just a little bit.
Can't say I've listened to their music.
Linkin Park.
I have heard of them. I've heard some of their stuff. It's good. It's good.
Epica.
Sad part is I started listening to some like Linkin Park after Chester Bennington died, and I felt really sad about that. Like, Yeah,
no. Linkin Park, right? I thoroughly enjoy
songs.
Yes. I thoroughly enjoy their stuff.
Dude, I'm weird enough where I watch two guys on YouTube playing a melodica, which is basically like a harmonica and a little keyboard, and they play like classical music. Like, I'm fucking weird that way.
No, it's okay. I like that stuff too. No, I legit like that stuff. So from online right now, like cover bands, Holocene, I really like what they do. First to 11, love what they do. Right? Do you know who they are?
I don't know who they are, but I'm just, don't hurt me, please.
So Halocene's doing a lot of Linkin Park covers right now. So their take their take, I love their version of Breaking the Habit. It's one of my favorite Linkin Park songs, period. But they do a really good job with it. So And it actually First 11's Audra Miller sings part of it as well. So it's really, really good. Let's see. From a hip hop perspective, love Eminem. So,
Eminem is fantastic. I
right?
love. He kind of frustrates me from time to time, but I do think he is just on another level. Just the way he plays with language is ridiculous.
No, it's unbelievable how good he is with that, and it's so easy for him. That's the part I'm a little jealous of. It's just like, damn, man.
Like I do like some of his cornier songs, but like just the sound like Shaggy now. But his like fucking sound like Shaggy again. Christ. Okay. I really like how he uses words.
Yeah.
He does words good.
He words well.
Right? He can word well. Yes.
Yes, he can word well. Classic Tupac, something I really enjoy. I'm not current with a lot of rap today. I'm just not, but I do enjoy it if it's done right. Let's see. I'll listen to Japanese rock and roll, which is very much sounds like the Beach Boys.
I do like. I love the Beach Boys actually because the harmony on their music is.
No, it's really good. It's really good stuff, and the Japanese seem to really like that stuff too.
Even their like corny like surfing songs, like the harmony is unbelievable.
Oh, absolutely. Right. So there's that. I love me some Phil Collins. I love me some.
I love Genesis. Have you heard from Genesis when he was the drummer?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
I think Selling England by the Pound is an underrated classic of rock music. I really do.
Land of Confusion's an awesome song.
I might need to.
You'll know that if you listen to Genesis, you'll know that song. Then there's okay, love the Beatles classically.
Yeah, Abbey Road's my favorite album from the Beatles. I know that on my bucket list. I want to walk past Abbey Road. I told my friend from England I was telling you about earlier. I'm like, I'm fucking visiting there. We are gonna walk over by Abbey Road. And he's like, all right.
Then there's I like Christian music. I love Jars of Clay. I think they're fantastic. I think
Christian music gets a bad rep. You know,
there's some really good ones.
Like
I mean,
it's kind of sad.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not as crazy about the purely worship stuff. There's some good ones. Michael W. Smith has some amazing worship songs. I love Delirious. Like old school Delirious is awesome. But as a general rule of thumb, I'm much more of a fan of stuff that just deals with the condition of what a believer goes through. And Jars of Clay is great at that. I wish they had done.
I am more interested in that as well. I also like I have a kind of soft spot for the feel good faith songs. You know,
sure. There's nothing wrong with that.
Now, there's some people who I know you're Christian. Well, you're more like, you know, I don't know what to call it sometimes, but
Christian.
I'm sure you've been to church, and I'm sure you've seen that guy who's just really crazy is just super into like believing in the Lord, and you know that is not me personally. I
sure
more introspective about it, but I mean,
say it now.
You know, like it does bother me a little bit, but I'm like, hey, if you do that, great for you. I'm glad that you.
Why does it bother you?
Feel it that strongly. I don't know why. It just kind of.
No, let's talk about that. Why does it bother you? Like honestly, like is it because he's so honest? Do you feel he's fake?
No, not like that. I don't. I try not to let myself be that cynical. You know.
No, I get you, but I mean, when you see it,
it's just opulent. You know, it's
opulent?
Just really just over the top. You know,
it's too much. Kind of, it's like how it feels.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of like, it's more of just that's just not my thing.
Well, yeah,
it's more of just like a thing. There's like a reason. Like, I'm jealous. There's also a part of me that is kind of jealous.
Yeah.
Of that guy.
Sure.
Because you know
he makes no apologies.
I recently decided I am not an agnostic anymore.
Cool.
A few months back, I even started hanging out with the Christian people at my my school, because again, I'm weird like that. I like talking to those people. I think
there's some good people, and like honestly, there's great people in that in those places.
like some of my friends are like, why? I'm like, they're interesting to talk to. What you want me to say? But and it's not like I care about what people think, but sometimes I think I do more than I admit.
Everybody does. Everybody does. Like,
but I think a part of it is kind of jealous. I'm like, here I am always angsting about what's God's purpose for me, and there he is. Just I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't go through struggle or anything.
Sure, absolutely.
It's like I kind of envy that I can't be like that guy.
So I'm gonna wish. So my wish for you, my friend. I'll even go pray to the big guy. Says, listen, I want one day you're gonna turn Britton into a cartwheeling, dancing fool up there one day, just for one day, so you can experience that and go. It ain't so bad. Now it still might not be you. Like again, no, we're not built. We're not necessarily built to be that outwardly. Not everybody's built to be that outwardly worshiping. There's lots of ways to do it, right? There's lots of ways to do it. But at the same time, like when I look at somebody, and this is not just someone that believes, but anyone that's into whatever it is they're doing, that's what I admire the most. They make no apologies about it. This is me. Take it or don't. I don't give a shit. And I respect that so much.
Yeah, or I've gone to the occasional like Christian meeting for the people at my college, and they'll like speak out lyrics. I'm just like sitting there, just like, oh yeah, this is fine.
But you don't have to. Like that's the thing about this.
No, I mean, I think you don't have to, but it's just kind of like, oh well, it's just kind of, yay.
I mean, listen, I can quote scriptures. I've done it on the show a few times. Like it's not like I go out of my way to. And I've had my struggles with going to church. Like I'm not even gonna deny it because of some of these things.
Now, in all honesty, I've never really loved going to church.
Most people don't.
And I actually asked my friend the other day because I have secular friends, and we still get. I mean,
yeah, sure.
There are just some people who, and this is why I've never been like an atheist or anything like that. They're just really obnoxious about it, and it just rubs me the wrong way.
Sure.
I just can't. Like Richard Dawkins, kind of Christopher Hitchens kind of people. I don't know if you know who they are, but I don't like those people, and I don't want to be like those people.
So back when first some of my earliest experience going to church was a Catholic church. My grandmother's a Catholic, and she'd take me down and do all the thing. And her favorite line to me was, if you can't make time for 1 hour, you have all this time during the week to do whatever you want, but you can't make 1 hour for God. And I realized like the trap that was. Like, no, it's not that I won't make an hour for God. It's just, this doesn't feel right to me. Like this is not me. It's not who I am. And again, I'm not knocking anyone that is Catholic that goes to church and does all that. That's great. I'm not here to.
I don't know, but my point I was getting at is I asked my friend the other day. I'm like, why do you think so many people just don't like going to church, or they don't enjoy that experience? Because you'd think hanging out with a bunch of fellow believers would be at least an enjoyable experience. But I mean, I've even had the experience. Like I've seen the preacher go, and it's just not that engaging. You're just like, you just want to like, you could watch paint dry and just get the, Now the church I go to now, I like the preacher, but it's the community aspect. You don't really get to know a lot of people. It's really weird.
So I always say like the worst thing about a church is Christians. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes the worst thing
because
it's almost like it's the biggest hypocrisy. Like honestly, like yeah, right. Because you'll just say, you'll hear these people, you should be doing all this stuff, and deep down when this is over, they're gonna go back to every stupid motherfucking thing they were doing prior to coming into the church, and you're looking at them and like, you're why there's nobody here. It's you fuckers, right? Because right, and that's what it comes to, because
it's just
What? But again, that's just part of the nature of church, right? You're going to deal with people that are going to come in there, and some people are going to genuinely want saving, salvation, whatever that looks like for them. And those people you have no issues with. They're looking for an answer, and
like it's a genuine thing. Like
it's genuine. You're not going to knock it, whether they're cartwheeling on the floor, whether they're just quietly like keeping to themselves. Doesn't really matter, right? What bothers me? So my very first book signing, the one I really fucked up. Okay.
Oh God.
Right. One I really fucked up. The big thing. So this is the other thing too. So the owner of this massage therapy or this home aromatherapy place was let me do the book signing stuff, and her son was there. And I still remember these two guys, the Kalen B. Christian, were coming up, and they were going at him. At first, it was good naturedly stuff, right? He tried to shrug it off, but it got serious, and there was this impression with these two guys that just because they believed in God, they were better than this guy, and that isn't that. This is the impression they are giving this guy. I shut it down. I said, I shut it down. Like I walked in and said, no, you don't do that, because so he doesn't believe the same thing you believe. Still a human being, still does all the other things. So like I broke down the 10. You can break the Bible down to like 3 verses, and it says, believe in God, honor thy neighbor, love thy brother. You can break the whole Bible down to those 3 things. Honor thy neighbor to me has always been people that don't necessarily believe what you believe. Right? Let them be who they are. Let them go on the path. And God only knows, don't judge them, because you don't know where they've been. You don't know where they've been. You don't know where they're going. Right? If you believe in God's plan, if you truly believe in a plan for God, then they are here for a reason too. And you should treat them with the same respect you do for people who do believe.
Yeah, I mean, there's also things like, like LGBT related stuff. I don't agree with. Now, I'll admit churches have started getting better with this, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Could you give me that, at least a little bit? It started getting a little better.
I'll just shrug, because I honestly at this point, look it's. If you look at it strictly from a biblical sense, if a church goes, I don't want you in here because of your this, and this, biblically speaking, like the word of God, there's still a lot of that out there. Then there are people who are just, and then there are other churches like, I don't really care. Just come in, believe in God, love, and that exists too. So it depends. I'll say it really comes down to the church you go to, the denomination. Some degree it's the denomination, some degree, but it comes down to the church you go to and the people that are in it. That's it. That's all I can really say.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. My dad is like he didn't grow up a believer, but he's he genuinely believes that now, and he's always telling me stuff. He'll go like, I'm like, well, if you think they made this up, how could they have made all that up? And I mean, I don't have an answer for that, and I don't necessarily think they made it up. It's just there's so many different ideas around.
Yeah.
About here's this religion, we're the chosen people, yada yada. Mm-hmm. That's very, I know, very sophisticated, Britton. But it's not like when I was an agnostic I thought it was all made up. It's just, I'm not saying these people didn't believe what they were seeing. It's just there's so many different ideas that also sound compelling. Like, for instance, I find a lot of identification with existentialist thought. And I know that now. I know there is existentialist Christian thought out there, which I haven't checked out. But I know that the idea of existentialism is that there is no purpose except for what we make of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that sounds compelling to me. But at the same time, I can't bring myself to not think there wasn't something intelligent that created the planet. You know, I don't know. It's
Okay.
I think it's just human condition thing, man.
It doesn't. We can go back and forth on all this stuff, but what it really comes down to is, do you believe or don't you? And that's it. And that's almost every school of thought at the end of the day. That's just it. Again, I've had people on here who are Wiccan, pagan. I've had Buddhist. I've had Wiccan. Wiccans, Hindus. I've had people from every kind of walk of life on the planet, and I have no clue what the right answer. If I cannot definitively say that there is a right answer, right? Definitively, right? I can't do it. There's no way for me to actually say that. I don't know what happens when we die. Legitimately, I don't know. Now, I do believe that there's a God, there's a heaven, and all that stuff, but that doesn't necessarily mean that what I'm seeing, what I think is going to be how it works out. I have no idea. I legitimately don't. What I do know is I'm here. Everybody else is here. I'm going to treat people like how I want to be treated. And I'm going to just let what it's supposed to be what it's supposed to be. And the older I get, the less I'm sure what that is actually supposed to be. I confuse much more easily now as an adult than I did as a kid. So
yeah, no, it's an interesting thing. I don't want to get too much into it.
We've done plenty here. So I mean,
well, we've already kind of dove in, but I'm like, I'd like to change subjects now.
Sure. So let's get toward the end of this chat then. Let's do it like this. What are your goals? What are your goals this year?
Let's see. I want to read more, which I'm doing. It's kind of a struggle right now because of college, but I'm doing my best. I am writing. That's something I've been getting after myself to do. And then a very friendly Canadian man gave me the inspiration, gave me the bardic inspiration to go do it. And
and the words I said was, write the fucking story.
yeah, no, it's I my problem is I tend to overthink stuff.
Sure.
Because I don't know, I'll ask a friend of mine. I'll be like, because I want to write stuff because I love character drama and stuff like that. I also like story stuff. You know that.
Yeah.
Right. I would think so after our talks that we've had.
Yes.
So I'm always trying to ask, how do you create these characters? What my goal is as a writer, Josh? You want to know? I want people to debate about what my characters were doing and why they did the things they do. That's what I want to do. I want to create characters like that. That's what I want to do.
Okay.
At the end of the day. Now, is that a bit ambitious? I don't know, but
I think it's very possible. Do you want the secret?
That's what I want to do.
Do you want the secret?
What's a secret, Josh? Or what's your secret, I should say?
Clarity.
Clarity?
You need to know what your characters want yourself. Because so here's the thing. No, this is just.
No, I'm not laughing at you. I'm hearing what you got to say.
Yeah, I know. You're like,
oh boy, here comes more of Josh's wisdom. I want to hear this.
So, you have a clear purpose that you think is a clear purpose. Somebody's going to read your stuff and go, he's fucking brilliant. This was what he meant. And another person's going to go, he's a fucking moron. This is what he meant. And another person's going to go, he meant this. And then another one's going to go, he meant that. The real secret, you have to have an idea what you want to say. That's right.
You mean theme wise, or just
no, just person? Not even theme. It's not okay. So
it's a person.
So I just did an interview with Amy Beckinsale about about a week ago, last week. You can go back on Twitch if you want to listen to it. So you're all right. So we get to the very end of the chat, and I tell her to pitch her book, and I said this is what I said, and this applies to you.
Okay.
When we write our stories, we are writing about ourselves.
That's true.
Right.
So I find stuff I don't want to write about myself just coming in there. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it's there now.
Yeah, exactly. So you are writing about you. The stories you tell are your story with whatever layers you decide to put into it. That doesn't matter what your art form is. This is why, again, the reason why I give a shit about what Taylor Swift says, she has a very clear. No,
I'm not laughing at you. I'm not laughing at him. I'm just.
Yeah.
I'm
Taylor Swift, Eminem, like the people that are really, really good at this stuff, they have a very clear idea of who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They have a very clear idea of who they are, and they don't deviate from that. Right? And the thing is, so I can listen to a Taylor Swift song, and I can listen to it and go, okay, she's talking about, hey, you're like Anti-Hero right now is her big hit, right? So it's a really cool earworm. It kind of gets you moving.
She's good at those.
And, yeah, she's really good at those. But if you actually listen to what she's writing about there, she's writing about the fact it's like, I'm not what you think I am. I'm actually, you know what? I'm as much of a fuck up as anything else. That's my interpretation of a song, right? But she's telling a story, and in that story, she's talking about her. Same with Eminem. He writes about stuff he gives a shit about, and it doesn't change. Every writer does this. So have a clear idea of what you care about. It will go onto the page. And once you have that, understand yourself. And when you understand yourself, I promise you, you will get a million interpretations of what you're saying. I promise that, my friend. I give you my word. I guarantee it.
It's like, but like somebody asked me the other day, it's like, what do you want as a writer? Maybe it was you. I don't know. Or maybe it was somebody else. I don't know.
Could be somebody else. Something I would ask you.
And it was like, something what do you want as a writer? And I'm like, God, it's like, you know what I want, like deep down? I want to have a story or characters that people can be like, no, this is what they did. No, this is what they did, right? Or they'll write stuff about. Like, I want a subreddit about my work. Okay, like that's how bad this is.
Okay. So to get to your subreddit, you gotta understand you. Because the less confusion you have with yourself, the more confused everybody else is. I sincerely promise.
Like, look, I want to sit with the popcorn and just watch everybody just argue.
Yeah. So be blunt about what you are going to say, and I solemnly swear to you, you will have people coming up with interpretations that you're going to actually go back and read your stuff and go, where the fuck do they get this from? Right?
Yeah, I know. I want that. It's like
I promise.
That's from the books, movies, shows, games, whatever. That's what I find joy.
I sincerely like our Harry Potter conversation.
I found
okay. I remember,
even though we were arguing a lot.
And then I point out something to you, and you're like, I have no answer to this. He's right. Fuck. Right. So, but the thing is, whatever you might think about Rowling in this moment, she has a very clear idea who these characters are. Right? She has a very clear idea. So, what I'm telling you, good sir, is this. Have your identity, your own clarity with what you're saying and what you care about. And you have that, put that onto the page. And I promise you, listen, I have seen you. I know you've seen some of my motivations. There's this one individual.
Yeah.
There are individuals who will fight me on my motivations.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
so what I realized,
expressing things that sound really simple, but then you start like thinking about it and like, fuck, how does he do it?
Yeah.
It's not that easy. Something like that.
No.
I've had those moments. I'm like, damn it, he's right. But he makes it sound
Yeah.
so easy.
That's the thing. I never say it. I that's the one thing I never promise anybody. That's the one thing I never actually say. It's easy. No, it's not. But I've had people come to me and argue. I'm clear. I have a clear idea of what I'm projecting to the world.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And people are going to come with me with their own interpretations about what I said. And I'm going to look at them like they're on drugs. Sometimes. Sometimes I'm going to look at them like, oh my God, that's okay. I can see where you're coming from. Like, again, I'm okay being disagreed with. I just want to hear your explanation of where you're coming from, right?
Mm-hmm.
I might think you're going to be on something or onto something, depending on how you answer, right? So, and if you're on something, I'm a little. Then I'm half curious what drugs you're on, so I can avoid them at all costs. But that's But the thing is, I say it like that because everybody is going to bring what they care about to the table. They're going to bring their own baggage. So understand yours, and I swear to you, okay, that people will come up to you and go and give you these ideas, and you'll be like, blank, 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 blank. I'll give you a fun one that they were right about. I didn't realize it when I was writing it, but they were right about. I have a novel, A Cloud Diver. There is literally a magical girl moment. I didn't realize it when I wrote it. I didn't realize it when I wrote it because right. And my editor goes, "Oh my OMG, is he a magical girl?" And it's like, "OMG, he is." When the moment happens, and then I was like, "No, it's." And then I read it. I read what I've said, and I'm like, "I got nothing. I can't dispute. I cannot win this argument." So I say it like that. I say it like that because that's what happens, right? Sometimes an interpretation is going to come along that's absolutely spot on, right? And sometimes you're going to look at them and go, I need to go back and read my stuff because I'm not sure where I said that. Let me go look. No, I didn't say that. Is my grasp of the English language different than yours? And that you will get both. I promise you. But you must know what you care about, and you must understand who your characters are. And if you can do that, I promise you, the miles you will get on that will go.
I was gonna say real quick, I know that saying I want my own subreddit out of context might sound really vain.
So what? Fuck it. Hey, listen, fuck it. Listen.
But the thing, what I mean to say is I want to see people debate about stuff that I make because that's what brings me joy from the art that I like. Like
you like that people are engaged with your work.
Yes.
That's what you want. That's what you want.
Or we talk about Harry Potter, and we've talked about Watchmen, we've talked about Batman. I want that. Like, that's what I want.
So
I want two idiots like us in the future that aren't us talking about something I did.
Okay, so
not to mean to call you an idiot.
Hey, listen, I yeah.
Look like you just woke up, man. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
It's okay. I'm good with
You're doing all right.
I'm very good. So, look. I just I've done 937 of these now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right. I've had a 3. So you understand your place in the universe when a 3-year-old can hold your show hostage.
Oh god.
So I'm just saying, like, ego. Like I have an ego. I would be lying to the world if I said I didn't. Right.
Oh,
but
I know I do. I think
everybody does.
I think you have to be self-aware about it, though.
I'm sorry. Well, again, there's self-awareness, and I promise you, it will get shit on throughout your life. It's not you will find that God will have a sense of humor about your ego. And he will. So I just suggest a warning from me to you. It will happen to you. Have the grace to laugh. Okay, when it comes your way. That's all I'm going to say there. All right, buddy. We've gone a little less time than we normally do, but I think this is a good place to wrap this.
Yeah, I was about to say
up.
I kind of ran out of stuff to talk about. I mean, I thought we could talk about Pretty Street Station a little more, but maybe another time.
Well, the next time we do this, buddy, I'll have to be in person.
No, I was going to say, hey, like I mentioned a while back, if you ever are in the Oklahoma City area, hit me up.
I know, dude. We'll totally hang out. I solemnly swear that I will kick you in the ass in real life like I do here.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
Okay,
but
so before we wrap up, then you need to tell people where people can find you.
Well, I started up my YouTube again, so if you want to watch me ramble on about books, it is at Some Okie Dude.
Okay, wait. Stop. No. Don't deprecate. Okay, you can be a little self-deprecation goes a bit, right? But why don't we try that the other way, the excited way? Ladies and gentlemen, Britton Summers truly loves books, and he has come back with his wonderful YouTube channel, which he gets to talk about.
All right.
Do it.
I got you. All right. So I have come back not with just any old BookTube channel. All right. I am the fucking rebel of BookTube. Go watch it right now, because I promise you will probably hear some different opinions than you will on other BookTube. But also, I talk about other things too. So watch that.
I'm trying to find. I'm actually trying to. Oh, there you are. So there you are. So folks.
There are a lot of great booktubers out there, but I'll say it right now: there's none like me.
That is right. That is right, folks. Don't. And I got the welcome to your channel. I found you.
Yeah, no, that's when I was 16. Good times. Good. I actually still like that video.
Yes. Her, folks, to everybody watching this. Go in there. He talks about books. The one thing I will give my guest here today, Mr. Britton, is he is a very passionate dude. Right?
Thank you.
And sometimes you have to browbeat him a little bit when it's like, hey, you got talking back on the bridge. But go to his YouTube channel, hit a subscribe button to it. Go definitely check it out. He talks about the books he loves and the things he loves with fervent passion, and sometimes the things he hates too. Sometimes. So definitely go check that out.
I want to cover more comics. I just haven't felt the itch to. You know how that is. You just like. Same thing with reading. You don't feel like the itch to do it. I want to cover more comics because.
So first off, folks, I'm gonna do two things today. I haven't done this in a while. I'm gonna do this properly. So, ladies and gentlemen, first things first. This is my advertising page. If you got a project you want to advertise, or you want to build yourself up from nothing, this is the way to do it. I have a new review on this today. That's kind of fucking cool. So I get to actually show the world a little something here. Because apparently I got a new review today for this book, which is awesome. I got
out your books at some point, even though I'm not much of a poetry guy, sadly.
I promise you this. I give you an honest promise, Mr. Britton. So this is my first book. This is Alice Zero. Alice in Greek. This is my mashup of Alice in Wonderland and Greek mythology. Alice opens Pandora's box and gets a certain Cheshire friend inside her head. She wakes up in an insane asylum where the playing cards are her jailers. Can Alice figure out who she is before it's too late? This book was nominated for the Elgin Award. You should check it out right now. Right. Definitely do it. It's actually relatively cheap for anybody that wants to do it. It's a whole $1.99, which is cheaper than a Dunkin' Donuts 2-pack combo. Definitely check that out right now. And ladies and gentlemen, that will do it. Go check out Britton's YouTube channel. Go check out my stuff because I'm awesome and made of cheese. My guest, I get to get put through my paces tomorrow night. I'm drinking and drawing with actress Nikki Nash. Little secret, folks. She's an amazing artist in her own right. And I don't know what I'm doing here, but we'll figure it out. That'll be tomorrow night. So for everybody watching, everybody listening, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Stay inspired. Keep shining in the dark. And I'll see you guys next time. Oh, almost forgot before we wrap this up. So this is 1,000 Apples. This is Britton Summers' last appearance in this concept of the show. So I wanted to tell you, Britton, this is just from me to you before we walk away. You're a very passionate guy.
Thank you.
And I think that's a great thing. What you need to learn, the thing about you going forward, you got to open your mind. You got to keep your mind open, because that is what's going to be, that is the one thing. You're passionate, you have firm stances, and I can respect that. But always, always, always be open to listen, even if you hear magic words you don't like to hear.
All right. Good luck with your Wanderlust, man.
I will. Yeah, it's either the greatest midlife crisis ever, or I'm finally growing up. I'll let you all decide that one. Ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a wonderful night. Stay inspired, keep shining in the dark, and I'll see you guys next time.